We are now.
I'd like to call to order this meeting of the Green Bay Public Arts Commission. Today is Wednesday, November 28th, 2018. It is 8 o'clock. We are in City Hall Room 604. Do some roll call real quick. Ken Touchson, Chair, I'm here. Alex Zacharias, Vice Chair, not in presently. Alderman Randy Scannell.
Here.
Matt Buchanan.
Here.
Tiffany Bowles.
Here.
And then liaison Stacy Minks is not present currently. Beth Lemke.
Here.
Very good. Okay, so can I start by approving or getting
Motion to approve.
agenda for
Agenda.
November 28th today?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Very good. And now can I get a motion to approve the minutes from October 24th?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Very good. So regular business, referring back to October 24th, 2018, meeting on filling one position for the liaison and one position for commissioner. So we all have in our agenda on our screens, let's go to the first person to discuss the regular business, who is Matt Vandenboom. Vandenboomen. So, that's not currently here, but we all met him. He's the person that designed our new logo. And he's expressed interest in participating in the Green Bay Public Arts Commission, I think on some way, shape, or form. So we get to decide what that is, if anything. But a few things that I highlighted from his letter of interest. He grew up in Green Bay. He went to UWGB and majored in design arts and minored in communication. He took part in the university's symphonic band for 2 years. He's been at Wild Blue Technologies for 6 years, and he's worked on projects on a large scale, like companies of Hershey, Kimberly-Clark, Target. And he is also the vice president of the Fox River Ad Club, and he's a millennial. Tying us in to some young folks.
Hey.
That's not you.
No!
You tie us into a whole different demographic,
Yeah.
which we need also. But, so any other discussion about Matt? Does anybody have any other experience working with him?
Just when you I only was curious, do we have any restrictions on who can serve if you reside in a different community and work in a different community?
As far as our ordinance says, it doesn't say anything about restrictions on residency.
Okay, that was my only question. I wasn't sure if he both lived and worked. Okay, I don't know if he does.
I want to say he lives in Depew.
Yeah.
As far as restrictions, we have a restriction, not a restriction, but in our ordinance, it just states that we need 3 liaisons, one from the humanities, or one representing the humanities, one representing visual arts, and then another representing performing arts. So currently, we are in need of a performing arts liaison.
This is actually something I wanted to talk about while we're on this agenda item. So we made that decision to have 3 liaisons, which are 3 positions that definitely need to be fulfilled, but also we could make more, and we just have to look at our current, body of members and liaisons to see, like, I think if we had someone like Matt, who was a graphic design / social media, guru, maybe we could have a position for liaison that would fulfill that niche. We'd be making it broader, but we'd have 7 people on the commission. I don't see a reason why we can't go more. Other commissions are made up of, I think Madison is like 15 or something like that. It's pretty insane. Yeah, and a lot of them are voting parties. And
Wow.
they probably wouldn't they wouldn't be able to move forward as quickly. But liaisons, I think, bring a really good perspective, because usually they're from an area of professionalism that is not at the table. So what Matt would be bringing, if we consider Matt, would be a graphic design and social media, which I think Laura probably doesn't have a whole lot of experience in. Am I correct?
It definitely is the thing I put on the back burner most often.
Okay, so if we had somebody consulting with you, would that make your life easier?
Oh, forget it. Absolutely not.
So, also for the record, I'd like to note that Alex Zacharias, Vice Chair,
Present.
President.
Morning.
Morning.
So how do we feel about that? Like adding another
I like it.
position?
I like it.
Any other thoughts?
I don't know why we wouldn't.
Can that be done by the way the group was formed at the city council level?
I think it would have to be an amendment. I mean, that was adding the
The-
requirements for.
Well, if we want it in our law, that we want that position, such a position in it, and we have to fill it, but if we just want to add it on, I don't know that we need to change the law.
I think originally it didn't state that we needed 3, but we made that amendment, I think, a few months. I think Cheryl was actually on the board when that happened, but, so I think we can. I think we do have the ability to dictate how many commissioners and liaisons that we have that autonomy. I believe we do.
Yeah, I think the law just says, with the law, I haven't read it lately, but I think it states what you want, the positions you want to have filled.
Right.
But then after that, I think we're free to do as we like.
So what we'd be doing is creating an amendment potentially that would allocate a place on the table, at the table for a liaison with a graphic design and social media background. That would help consult us on those types of matters. Okay? So when we go ahead and make some motions here, I'd like to put that on there then, unless there's a disagreeable. So what Matt would be doing is fulfilling that role, because right now, I think we have somebody else who would probably fit the role of the musical performing arts niche a little bit more. So any other discussion on Matt?
So do we have to make a motion?
Well,
Yeah.
let's discuss all of
Gotcha.
them.
Or gotcha.
Well, also Paul is musical.
That's who we're going to be discussing next. Okay, so if there's no more discussion on Matt, then I'd like to open up Paul's file here. And a few things that I'd like to note about Paul. He's currently the board president for the Civic Symphony of Green Bay. He's participated in the Green Bay Symphony Orchestra, Green Bay Choral Artists, Emerald Heart Quartet, the Dudley Birder,
Dudley.
Dudley
Mhm.
Barter.
Birder.
I'm
Dudley
completely
Birder, choral
remembering
and music
this.
teacher.
Thank you. And he's a pianist, he's a vocalist, and he's also worked with NeighborWorks for the past 13 years, and he's currently serving a 3-year term as a board member. And he's the vice chair for that board. He's also serves on a few other boards, the board of Evergreen Theater, and the Seven Loaves Project, and the YASA, which I don't even know what that acronym stands for.
I don't know what the Seven Loaves Project is. Anybody know what the Seven Loaves?
He's
Project
involved.
is? Yeah.
So, and he's really excited to be considered as a liaison to fulfill Lee's position, who left a few months ago. So, any discussion on Paul?
Did Lee serve in that same capacity as president of the Civic Symphony?
I believe you did.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that would be,
Was it a good candidate?
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. And he's expressed interest in helping volunteer here and there, so I think he'd be a really good fit to replace Lee. Any other discussion? Any questions about Paul's resume or ideas?
Have we met him before? or-
He has not been in, no. I know him personally. Beth, do you know him?
I do not know.
Okay. I think Celestine did. Has anybody else met Paul?
I think I've met him.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
From NeighborWorks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mhm. He's heavily involved over there.
Yeah.
So, then, I don't think we should make any motion quite yet, because we still need to discuss Kelly Strickland, who we have her physical, do you have her bio and stuff?
I do.
There you go. That was a late. So, let's see here. Kelly is heavily involved, she's new to the area. She comes from Chicago, I believe, and she is currently the executive director and artistic director of the Widener Center. So a lot of contacts and wonderful crossover and missions there. She's expressed a lot of interest in participating on the GBPAC, and I don't have her thing right in front. Oh, you got it in here. So let's share ours. Oh, no.
No, it's just a handout on top of it.
Okay. So,
Oh, there's a backside.
yeah, she's a theater, she's an actress and creative designer. So I think she'd bring a lot of strong qualities to the GBPAC.
She's worked, recently, she's been working with the Boys and Girls Club. She's really trying to get into the community, so I
Yeah.
think she'd be a good asset.
I'm a little concerned, executive director of the Hypocrites?
Well, yeah, I mean, we have to take all of Kelly.
Oh.
So are we selecting one candidate or?
No.
Oh.
So we
Not
need
necessarily.
Okay.
right now, we have a liaison position open, Lee's. And we also have a GBPAC in January open because Tiffany will be leaving,
Okay.
stepping down, yeah. So what we're discussing now is to fulfill the liaison position for 2019 and also the GBPAC commissioner role for 2000, so January. So the reason we're discussing it now is so that in common council in December, we can discuss this and approve it. And then in January, we're good to go.
I like the idea of putting Paul as the new liaison
Okay.
and Kelly as a commissioner, and then adding a spot for Matt.
Adding a spot for a graphic design and social
Mhm.
media, and then having that spot be Matt,
Mhm.
right? Okay.
So-
I think that's wonderful, that's a great idea.
So far, I see that one of them is, as far as fundraising, would be the Widener.
Yeah.
Mr. Kelly.
Also, Paul has fundraising experience.
That's great.
He cited in his thing, yeah.
Essentially, we'd be creating a spot for Matt. Would we be changing our policy or the law with creating that spot, I guess is the first question, just because I'm thinking in the long term, like in the future,
Right.
when Matt moves on to do something else or is unable to serve,
Right, see, that,
would we
Well, I think that's what
be committed to
we were
filling that?
wondering, Beth.
My understanding was, and again, I didn't bring
the law.
I didn't bring that,
Yeah.
but my understanding was the commissioners, obviously, those are recommended by this group, if I'm interpreting it correctly, and then are approved by, I believe, mayor's office,
Mhm.
and then, or
The council.
nominated by, and then formally approved by the council. The liaisons, the only question I would have is, I think this group can make the recommendation to add a liaison.
Exactly. Yeah.
But that's what I guess I would recommend for the December Common Council, is making that recommendation to
Yeah.
add the graphic, and then in January have this group come back and,
Mhm.
but
So that's actually something that I don't know offhand. If we just make the recommendation to add a graphic design, social media liaison position, or if we can actually do that.
Last time, I think it was a recommendation,
Okay.
because it had to get approved higher up.
Okay, so the way the motion would read is we would.
Well, all of them are recommendations, really.
That's true.
Because the mayor is
Yeah.
the one who decides at the end. So really, you would just be recommending Kelly for the commissioner position, Paul for the liaison position, and recommending a new liaison position be created.
For
That
graphic design.
could be given to Matt at a later time.
Okay.
So in the future, when he moves on, we would want to refill that with another graphic design
Correct.
specialist.
Yeah. Okay. Is everyone on the same page here?
Yeah, that really makes sense to
Yeah.
bring that in.
Okay.
It's a possibility.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so then, I'd like to entertain a motion that would read the recommendation to seat Kelly Strickland as the next.
Just before we go to the motion,
Mhm.
I wonder if we want to stay more fluid, if we want to give ourselves more wiggle room.
Okay.
And not actually say, make a position, but say we want this person on as a liaison. And if he should resign and someone else steps up, even though they got different qualifications.
What would you
I like
suggest?
that idea.
Huh?
I like that idea.
Okay, so-
As a broad term, arts, I mean,
Yeah.
we could
Consultant?
have, yeah.
There
In
you
the
go.
future, if we're
We can even
ever
just say another
able-
consultant. I don't even know if we
Sure,
need to.
arts
add-
consultant.
Yeah, in the
Yep.
future, if we're ever able to, which would be my dream, is have an artist in residence for Green Bay. I
Mhm.
mean, someone like that could be filling that position.
You don't live in a residence?
Uh-huh.
You don't have a residence? You're not in a residence?
But maybe, I mean,
That's a-
there are
that's a
art
good idea,
forms
art
developing all the time.
Okay.
20 years from now, if we're still around, which we are, because we're strong.
I
We
think
could
do that.
have a digital artist or something that we don't even know of at this moment. So I think
Yeah,
keeping
so-
it general,
Prefer that as well.
Yeah.
So then that liaison position. would
And do we
be-
want to make it a liaison or an
Hold
actual
on.
commissioner?
No, 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 that would be a next liaison.
Okay.
So that position would read, an arts liaison, or an arts consultant, rather than a graphic design, social media
Yeah.
consultant, just the arts consultant. That way we'd have more fluidity, it would fit Matt, and we'd have the autonomy to kind of recommend whoever we want then, for
Mhm.
that. Okay?
Mhm.
How does that sound to everybody?
I prefer that. Graphic design just didn't seem to fit with the other humanities, visual, performing arts, like those are,
Yeah.
big, broad categories, and graphic design was just so
Very
specific,
specific.
so.
Okay.
Kind of graphic.
Okay, so, okay, point taken, thank you, Randy. So then the motion would read Kelly Strickland to replace Tiffany Bowles for January. Paul Grawl to replace Lee Clemens as the liaison. And the creation of an arts consultant position, which would be filled by Matthew Vanden Boomen.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Very good. Okay, so,
And those would be recommendations to the mayor's office.
Correct.
yes. All righty, so back to, okay, so,
Now we need to vote.
oh, yes. Correct. Has everyone voted?
Yeah, we're-
So if you go back to agenda. Wait. I think it was unanimous, so I think we can just move forward.
unanimous.
Yeah. So let's go to item number 2, which is fundraising, updates, and review of current materials. So Laura, looks like you've been a little busy on some materials here. Can you walk us through what's changed?
a lot has changed.
Yeah.
In a good way though, because honestly, I mean, we've been doing stuff these past couple years now, but I didn't have any good photos or visual proof to fill this packet up until within like the last month or so. So a lot of pictures have been added. I've included a few other pages in there as far as just general statistics on the power of the arts and laying out our future plans. So that way people kind of have an idea of what direction we're hoping this program can grow into.
Right.
Seriously?
That was the picture he gave me.
Steam engine? Right.
I don't recognize
Oh, the hair or what?
the lack.
Oh, yeah.
When was this picture taken? You were 16?
That was last year. Take that as a compliment.
So these would be the packets that,
This looks really great. I like this imagery, like this, like
I like
I
how-
need something with this, and we're starting to do that.
yeah. And honestly, majority of those pictures, like I said, they took place within the months of September and October, so.
Yeah, we've been fruitful the last few months.
Yeah. So these packets would be what our the boots on the ground people making those asks would be using as tools to kind of make the case. And then there is a little donation card. Obviously, it would be like cardstock or something a little more substantial, but for presentation purposes today, that's all that I have at the moment. But
So the donation forms, these forms, I mean, the max give is $1,000. That's really not a lot of money. But this is
I mean, there's
for
definitely
like,
a other section if someone wants to blow out.
I'm talking about like the bigger fundraising goals, like the people that were asking $50,000, $100,000 from.
Yeah,
They wouldn't get this involved.
They wouldn't
No.
get this.
No, yeah, they would.
it would.
They would?
Yep,
Okay.
yep, they all use that same card. Because is that gonna run through the community foundation? Yeah, they use that card, they'll just write in the amount.
Okay. So,
That's a commitment on paper then that the foundation has for that amount.
Cheryl, then would you suggest that we change the dollar amounts here, or, like, because this seems really small increments up, and then if someone's gonna give like $50,000 or something like
This is under.
that. It does, but I mean,
15.
15, 25, 50,
People who are gonna give that
No.
much probably wanna write their
No,
own
that's
zeros.
what, because that's what the other
Right,
ones.
They're not gonna check a
Because you're gonna
box.
make, when you make those personal asks for the large gifts, you know, they might not
Okay.
fill this out, they might send a letter to the foundation, or they'll just put it in here.
sure,
So
okay.
this is okay to use, this is kind of a standard format
Okay.
for fundraising,
This
so
is,
you're okay
okay.
with this, yep.
All right. So,
I just did it wrong, not for you, somebody else.
All right.
fair enough. Okay.
And like Cheryl said, then we would be working with the community foundation. I haven't set up a meeting with them yet. Kind of wanted your guys go through on this first. Because then, speaking with Celestine, because we're operating under the city's 501c3, any donations that we receive aren't, people can't claim that on their taxes. So.
Wait, what? Is that backwards?
No. No, that's true, we met with finance to talk about that. If I make a $50,000 donation to the city of Green Bay, that is not tax deductible, which is a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And wasn't that like a federal change in the law, or?
I'm not quite sure.
I think that was a federal change in the law.
It might
That was
have
one of the
been, but-
complaints about the federal changes, because they made a big bunch of tax breaks,
Mhm.
but then they closed up a few things,
Closed
and that
up.
was one of the ones they closed up.
So we might need to look at like forming a Friends of the Public Arts Commission or some type of 501c3 entity.
How about buddies?
itself. Buddies of arts,
But
whatever we want to call it,
This is super
but.
important.
Yeah.
But that can be, I don't think that's too difficult to do, the 501c3 status to get that.
Yeah.
You've got everything
We
you
just
need,
need
but-
Basically.
to, I think those buddies or friends of the arts, I think those are the people who we're gonna have be making that ask for us, correct?
Well, I think whatever you call
We
your
would,
501, you need a name for your 501c3, whatever that is. So you form that.
Just need a mechanism to give
That's the
money.
mechanism to get the money. I don't know if you have a campaign cabinet form or not. Usually you get a campaign cabinet, and those are the people that are making the asks.
Yeah.
So they make the asks on behalf of the Friends through the Community Foundation. So the money
That
would
is
then
so
go
many
to the
entities. Okay, I need
foundation.
to write this down. Okay, so we would create a 501c3, and that would be the GBPAC.
No, that'd be the
Friends of the.
Friends,
Community.
yeah, you can't.
Whatever,
Yeah.
okay.
Whatever you
Friends.
call it.
Buddies, pals, art pals.
Friends of the GBPAC,
Mhm.
and then we have them, they go make the ask. Basically, this would be the cabinet that we already have.
Well,
right?
that's a tax, I mean, that's
Just a tax thing, it's a formality.
right.
Right.
Okay,
It's
so
a
then.
structure to set up.
So it's
in
not
order to receive
people, it's
payments.
just a way to give us money.
Right.
Right.
Now we can add people.
GB Community Foundation, that's where the checks come in, that
Yep.
these people make, or we make the ask, the checks come to the GB Community Foundation, and then they write checks to the city.
No,
So what
they
they
write checks
do-
to that.
Right,
Now, how do
so,
we use the money?
okay, so you will have a separate account set up. I'm thinking it's gonna be a lot like the GVNLC, so, which is the Green Bay Neighborhood Leadership Council, it's a separate 501c3.
Right.
So they have their own account, they have their own accounting, they cut their own checks, they do all of that. So we have a relationship with the Community Foundation. When we go out in a campaign, which we're in right now, we work with them, we pay, I can't remember what it was, but a percentage of that fundraiser
Right.
goes to them. But then they send all the letters out, they do all of the hard work with the campaign, all the minutia tracking, that type of stuff. They hold the money there. When we need money, for whatever reason, we ask for a draw, it comes to us, it goes into the GBNLC
Oh.
account.
So it doesn't
So-
actually pass through the city?
It does not, there's
Oh.
no, and then if there's any billing back, like if there are city services, for example, if we need a computer, for example, we work that through the city will bill the
Okay.
GVNLC back, and then we'll cut a check. So you're really your own entity, in other words. So you have your own checking account and you track money.
Sure, okay.
Do we need a treasurer then?
We'll have to look at how that 501c3 is
I
set
have a
up.
treasure.
Yeah.
You are?
Would you mind?
She's functioning.
You're the treasurer,
as the
you're
treasurer.
everything.
Okay, so, wow, so I think this would be a transition, because right now, the way we fund our projects and everything is those are checks from the city.
Right,
Right.
because you're operating right now off
Under
of
that-
that stadium money.
Right.
But once that money is gone,
We need to function
then
differently.
you'll be drawing off of the money
Okay.
that you're raising. So for a while, you'll still have city checks that you could draw from those accounts for
Mhm.
your purposes, but then when that money's gone.
Does this make sense to everybody?
And
Yeah.
then this allows us to make other types of monies.
Oh, you can raise whatever
You
you
know,
want.
you can, yes.
Okay.
Yep, that's a good
I'm
mechanism.
surprised we haven't done that.
That's true, yeah, this makes.
Well, I think we kind of thought, I thought that we could set it up through the city. I thought you
Right.
could donate to the city.
Right,
But, so I wasn't aware of that when we met with finance, so.
yeah.
Yeah, this seems
And I
like-
think it would have just been simpler, because we could still done a lot of things through the city, if
Right.
you know. But now with the change in the tax law, this is the way you have to go,
So,
really. You
would
don't have
this-
much choice.
I don't know, like, would this provide us more autonomy as well to do whatever we want with money then? Did it would have to go to common council to,
Probably, no, I
Yeah,
think you're
yeah,
still set up by
yeah,
ordinance as a
yeah.
public arts commission.
Yeah,
through the
we've
city
still gone
council.
through,
so it still has to filter through the common council even
Mhm.
though the money.
our actions,
Correct.
our actions, whatever we do, whatever action we take still has to go through council.
I mean, if
And
the
it keeps
city
us
were to
honest.
fund it, if the city were to, let's say, you know, Amazon's coming to Green Bay.
Right.
Now we're loaded, right, as a
Yeah.
city. The city could fund this public arts commission, right? And then you wouldn't have to do any fundraising. That's not the case. You have to fundraise, so.
Right, and we are looking to do, I mean, I don't know where that went, but.
Oh,
but the-
potentially
the
percentages
1%
of development,
Of
yep,
development.
yep.
So.
And that
we-
would go in, so it's, you have to look at it as like, you're gonna have different funding sources,
Sources,
right?
yeah.
Because as the PAC, right now, we have some block grant money
Right.
that, for public arts. It's in
Yep.
this pool, you'll have some privately raised money, you'll have some stadium money, so maybe some development proceeds.
What
So
we
it's
are-
really a pool.
So
you're
all of
drawing
those
from.
city dollars then would go towards the GBCF, Community Foundation, like the block grants?
No, the city dollars would stay at the city.
Okay, and
You
those
would
would-
just draw them like you
It's
would
just
any
another
other
pot of
money.
money.
I see.
Another pot of
I
money.
see, all right.
And is there a
We have our
cost
fingers in many pots.
Yeah.
to be in a 501? Is there like an annual?
Well,
There is.
we have to figure out if someone, you know, maybe our law department could put that together for us, otherwise you'd have to probably have them say $500 maybe to have an
Yeah.
attorney or an
So
accountant
it's-
put it together.
it's-
Paperwork, it's,
Right.
It'd be great if, since we are a city entity, if we
Right.
could have city attorneys do
it's
it.
possible for maybe our law department to do that, but.
Okay, so, wow, this is some exciting.
You know, once it's in place though, it's smooth. Like,
Yeah.
we're in
Right.
we're in a campaign right now, we're raising 300,000 for neighborhoods, we've got about 120 raised, but, you know, we make the asks, the cards go to the foundation, and then they handle all the follow-up paperwork.
In neighborhoods, are they still a city entity?
No, they're
So-
not.
So they're not, so their stuff doesn't have to get filtered through the.
We are
common
operating
council.
just like that.
Okay.
We are our own 501c3, the Leadership Council. Even though we've got people in City Hall working, our staff person is funded through the GNLC, not
Right,
through the city. They
okay,
get a city paycheck, but then that GBNLC reimburses the city for that pay. So, I mean, the system's in place already.
right.
It's just setting up that 501c3. for
And
this
even though it's a
entity.
nonprofit, a 501 can create within itself a for-profit entity?
If we-
I am not the tax person, but.
I'm almost sure you can.
Right,
It's got a lot of opportunity.
right.
So if we establish this, we're gonna need, I guess, a separate president, a separate secretary,
No.
treasurer,
Nope.
all of those things for a nonprofit organization.
No,
I'm pretty sure you do.
no, I'm pretty sure you don't.
Okay.
We've been doing it for probably 20 years. It's it's the same. It's whoever your committee is the same as your 501c3. Your 501c3 isn't a group of people. It's just a tax status that you're
Formality.
using.
Okay.
So,
On the paperwork that we have to fill out for this tax status for
Right.
the art garage, we're required to put down a president, an individual.
President?
Chair.
whoever your people are on this board would probably be, that's what it is for
Okay,
us, is
right.
the
It
same
would just
people on the
be mirror what
501c3.
we already have established.
Yep.
Right.
So, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I
And
mean,
it's actually set
essentially,
up as the
right.
chair.
We-
It's not by name, it's the chair of the the chair
We'd
of
be
the
holding
PAC.
our GBPAC hat, and then we'd have the formality
Right.
501c3 hat, I guess.
That's a lot of hats.
Mhm.
We'd have
These two hats.
So do we have to make a motion for this, or?
Yes, well, I think we do, yeah. So,
Probably that you'd want to explore
I would say
forming the 501c3.
Refer staff to them.
so, yeah, the motion would be,
I make a motion to refer to staff to look into creating a 501c for the Green Bay Public Arts
as the Green Bay Public Arts Committee Friends.
Friends.
And I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Where are we with the development? Taking
Okay.
that 1%,
So,
or half percent, or whatever we're gonna do.
Frankensteining.
Okay.
I'm Frankensteining some documents together, and I have to send those to Matt, and then we're gonna be meeting with Kevin
Oh, okay.
and hopefully Cheryl to
okay,
review
I don't want to
those.
leave this item yet.
Oh, we have to vote? We're gonna vote?
Yep, we already did.
Oh, I
Just
thought
gotta plug
it
it
just
in.
popped up.
It was unanimous.
Oh,
So, also the cabinet, I think the idea is that we'd start having a little bit more regular meetings again and having more specific asks to give to the cabinet so that we can start pulling in some of those bigger donors so that we can start getting on the radar for some of the bigger entities in the city that would be giving to public arts. So, do we have a meeting established yet for 2019?
No, because I wanted to get this set up first, because that was what they tasked me with last time I met with them.
Okay, so any other questions that you have, or ideas, or anything that we should bring up for getting that meeting going, or anything else?
I just need this approved, and then I can set up a meeting.
Okay.
And if there's anyone else who you feel needs to be added onto that cabinet,
At this point?
let me know.
I can't think of anybody at this point, so. But you'd like approval on this updated version of the packet?
Yeah, or if there's anything that needs to be edited or changed.
Other than his photograph, I agree, he's, this is just,
yeah, I kept saying,
picture?
I'm thinking, well, it says it's the chair, and I'm thinking, which
I don't
chair?
rec- I don't
Chair to who,
recognize
what? Who
Well,
is this guy?
He looks all right to me. Maybe, no.
I think it's a very nice photo.
Thank you, Matt.
I think this is really, really great, or excellent job, looks
Yeah,
fantastic, I
absolutely.
love the photos, I love the
Yeah.
infographics, it just is a more comfortable document to process because of the visual enhancements you made.
And the colors and the.
and actually you created a script for a video.
That's true.
You just got a script for a video.
So-
The only other, there's some minor edits maybe we can work through after this meeting,
Yeah.
just little things. But
Yeah.
overall, I would
Yeah, that'd be great.
make a motion to approve.
I got one more. So this is kind of a lot of things. So is there a sequence, or is this like if we go to a place and we want to talk to somebody, how do we explain, what's the way you would explain this to a potential
I mean, the only thing that's not, I mean, it's kind of an afterthought, but like when you open it, there's this page, but this is the highlight reel.
Oh, this is the
This is
highlight.
like quick sheets, like, this is the rotating arts program, this is the annual grant program, this is what we do. This is when we are established, this is how we're funded, this is kind of like the
Quick.
quick overview.
Okay.
So I mean, that sits in there. But then when you open it, there's there's your
I
letter,
got it.
and then financial snapshot, artist kind of
Okay.
words from the artists. And then over here, you have your donation card. I mean, this can be laid out differently, because you just have
Actually,
it right now.
visually, it's making more sense now that you're explaining it, I think.
And then there's power of the arts. This is just facts about what art can do, what art has been proven to do in communities. And these are our goals for future, like developing an art tour and having a maintenance plan set up and things like
Yeah.
that. And then lastly, it's just what we've already done
Yeah.
so far.
Okay.
So I don't know if,
Yeah, do we want to change the order of that, or I don't know?
I think it's okay, actually.
Okay.
Now that you've
I don't-
given me the run through, that
Fine by
helps a
me.
lot. Laura.
I-
Thank
I
you.
have a question. You know, we always think about our audience. I'm wondering, when you want to reach the Hmong community, do you speak to them in their language, or? I'm just wondering if that's something
Yeah.
we should consider.
It just it depends on, and, you know, are you asking, so if it needs to be in
Custom or?
customized for?
I don't know, or, you know,
Translated.
if we want to build our audience, do we need to speak their language or not? I'm just
Well-
throwing that out there.
I mean, there's a lot of English speakers in the Hmong community, and
That's true.
I don't know that.
Oh, what's your
I
opinion,
mean-
Ben?
I don't know that you necessarily need it in a multilingual format right now.
Okay.
Okay.
I would think most of the people that we'd be going to for an ask are going to speak English, no
Okay.
matter what, you know, their native language is. I think in our community, the English, those who are speaking both, who are bilingual, are going to be more in the positions that we'll be going to. You know, we don't have to, we're not knocking door to door.
Gotcha. No. Just wondering.
Yeah, visually, Laurel, as you explained it, the way this lies, just sits in the folder is really, really nice. And the one thing that threw me is like, is this thing was in here, and that was just one piece too much. I was like, the sequence and the symmetry of the visual component was a little bit lost on me.
would you
Because this was
prefer,
there.
I mean, so I helped Will with the GBNLC packet, and what we did for that is we actually, so they had kind of a hot sheet too, but then they broke it down so that it actually adhered to these parts of the
Ah,
folder.
that's
Is
awesome.
good.
Yeah,
that something that you,
Totally.
Yeah.
And can I just like for information
Sure.
purposes, generally when you make an ask, this is the stuff you're gonna leave, right?
Right.
So when you go in, you kind of have your own fact sheet. And then, of
Okay.
course, you know what you're talking about, so, you know, when you make your ask, you highlight these points here. If they have, you know, there might be a particular question about your financial statement, you can pull it up. Otherwise, oftentimes you don't even want to use this. It's like, I'm gonna leave this with you to take a look at, and
Okay.
then, you know, we'd love a gift from the council for the town. So,
$1 million.
Right, so you don't, so when you, don't think about it as you going through each one of these individually, because that rarely if ever happens.
Yeah,
It's mostly this highlight, you know, that we kind of want to know what you're all about.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, if
All
that
right.
information was good down here, I think that'd be real nice. And then maybe like something right here.
yeah.
Yeah. Our logo,
Yeah, the-
just our logo.
Sure. Bam.
And I was actually thinking about,
Kent's face.
because we don't have a lot of money for stickers and other fancy things, so I might just make a stencil with our new logo and
Print it, yeah. that's
paint
a-
it on or something.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a cool idea.
That is a really cool idea.
The only other thing I think I'm gonna add to this fact sheet then, because I don't have like our future plans on here. And I think that's important for us to have on here as far as, we're not just about making art and making the city beautiful. We're about preserving our cultural heritage and all of these other things that we have planned, and making an art tour so people can actually interact and engage with the art and have art accessible for everyone. So I think that would probably be the only thing that I add onto this.
Right.
Would it be creating a cultural heritage as opposed to?
Preserving the cultural heritage.
Don't we
Did I
wanna
say create?
No, you said preserve. I'm wondering if we want to,
I mean, we definitely want to create, but we also, as far as our, like, right now, we're creating, we're making art, we're creating
Right,
it.
yeah.
But we don't have any money to preserve what we already have. So that's our future.
I see.
That's our future, at least. I would like to have
Like,
a.
yeah, create and preserve maybe, because create is, yeah. I mean,
And that's actually,
Because creating sounds more progressive.
Yeah.
Preservation sounds more historical kind of thing, and I want to be
Yeah.
more progressive and edgy, and we're, you know,
yeah.
vibrant, and we're not just holding on to our past, we're,
Creating is definitely more exciting to people who want to give money.
and if you look at the little who we are, or what we do sheet, right underneath our logo is just a quick little blurb that I think sums up what we do and what we focus on really
Yep.
well.
Okay.
Green Bay Public Arts Commission focus on the creation and preservation of public art and ensuring equal access for all to enjoy and engage with public artwork in Green Bay.
Perfect.
So,
Okay, so with Matt's idea of creating this to kind of go right here, and then the logo thing, can I get a motion to accept?
I have a question, I'm sorry.
Sure.
So in the next future propaganda, we'd be saying, member of our organization, they 501c, blah, blah, blah. Would
I wouldn't say blah, blah, blah.
I mean, would we be inserting 501c in our future, as
I
far
don't
as
think
identity?
so.
I don't think so.
No,
Okay,
no.
just curious.
And that's a good question. I think the Green Bay Public Arts Commission, that's the entity that needs to be on the face of all this stuff. The
Oh, right.
Friends of is just the.
When they're gonna write the check,
That's it.
this is where you write, who you write the check
Right.
to.
But it's, I think, fair to make clear that when you write a check, you're gonna get that
Tax
tax.
deduction.
Deduction, yeah.
Yeah,
So
that needs to be
be
somewhere.
somewhere.
Is that on here?
no.
Okay, we should, that
We can't
is.
say it yet, so.
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
But when we do,
Yeah, we got.
And
you
maybe
are
that's
here.
something that that's really something that are people making the ask hammer home,
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
even though
This should be written.
we're an
also.
entity of the city and aren't,
Right.
where would you like it included? On the donation card? or-
Definitely.
Yeah, the
Tax.
donation card, definitely.
Yeah, someplace on here. Like your.
Oh, it's a tax write-off, sure.
Yeah. Make your tax deductible check to,
Yep. 'Cause that's
Of $1 million.
always something that people ask whenever I ask them for money for anything, is this tax deductible? So, yes, in writing and verbally. Okay, any other discussion on this?
But I agree with Matt, she can't make those edits
Until-
until
Right.
everything's
Yep.
processed.
yep, yep.
Very good.
Is there anything else, I mean, in your experience with fundraising and things like that, is there anything that you feel needs to be added to this, or is lacking, or?
No, I think I like the layout. Again, the technicalities, the 501c3, and that's, so whoever's making that, it just has to be clear about that. With the fact sheet, I'd be just very careful. I know you kind of want to add to it, but there's so much already going on
Yeah.
there. It's really making sure that the committee that's making the ask has all the details, or even if you're going alongside and you're that silent piece until a question comes up. Yeah, I would say you've got a great layout,
Yeah.
and I would just make sure from the city side of things with the legal that there's no hiccup with the because it's gonna be paperwork, and somebody has to take ownership of that paperwork,
Right.
so.
So this is pretty wordy, but I know you've probably tried to pare it down. So,
I can try and cut some more though, too.
yeah, like headlines help.
I'll try.
Well,
yeah.
usually there's the one sentence, the one paragraph, the one page. I mean, we should be able to have all those entities.
Yeah,
Whenever I'm asking for monies, like for a film, if you tell me in one sentence what this is about, it's the elevator pitch. But that's the person that's selling, that's speaking for us, they should be able to do that as well.
Is the elevator pitch uplifting or down?
Depends on where you're going.
I think you could probably pare down the rotating arts program to like 2 bullets, and the annual grants to 2. The letter of support is already 2. What is public art? That's important. Do you know that's important? What's the deal with funding? Maybe you could cut that part out. Why should you support us? That's also important. So, just at a real brief, that's what I would.
I'll cut it down and then I'll send you guys the updates.
Perfect.
In an email.
Okay. So, any other discussion on this updated packet? Okay, then with these discussed amendments on the packet, I'd like to approve this updated, can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
Aye.
Very good, thank you very much, Laura, this
I
is
think she needs some applause.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah. Speech, speech.
This is great.
It's my job.
Yeah. This is great, okay. So, Chairman's report, okay. Moving along. So, I have a few things. The Embark sculpture is moving right along. The 19th is going to be the install date, and I believe it's at 4 o'clock.
You need to send us an email on that?
Yeah, we're gonna have a, I don't, have we made a?
Not yet. I wanted to talk with Celestine about hammering out details.
To do a, what's it called? A press
Media
release.
There'll be a press release, and then I'm thinking we'll send out an email
We definitely want to invite WPF.
invitation.
Oh, yeah, they're coming. They're gonna be saying something.
Is the install the unveil? Is it the same thing?
It's the same week,
Okay.
yeah. So the install is gonna take a few days,
Okay.
but the unveiling is like the day of the final.
It's like the light
Is
of the
that the
ceremony.
19th? So is that
The
the
19th.
19th? So that's actually the reveal?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. I believe 4 o'clock is the time.
Do we have a
Yep.
giant sheet that we
Well, we're kind of discussing how that could work, and I think I've come up with a way to put a giant something on it.
Awesome.
But
Do it
that's
with mirrors.
secondary to.
Do it, mirrors, it's not there, and all of a sudden the mirrors move.
Okay, so December, unless something pops up, it looks like we're probably going to forego the December meeting. Just so everyone takes a note of that. Laura will confirm that with an email. And
If anything big comes up between now and then let me know and we can make a meeting happen. But I think with Embark, because we talked about moving the meeting a week ahead, but Embark is going to be unveiled, and I think you're probably going to be very busy with that.
Yeah.
I'll be busy too.
yeah,
And then it's Christmas afterwards. So if something does come up, let me know and we can try and work something in the schedule. But otherwise, I think
January.
yeah.
Mhm. Okay. And then I just want to reflect on the audience. There's a few people here. I'd like to give you the opportunity. We can open the floor if you'd like to say anything. Anybody who's here, or you just had a?
We have to make a motion.
No.
Yep, we do, if someone wants to
We will if
speak.
someone raises their hand, if anyone likes to talk.
Yep, okay,
Yeah.
motion to open the floor.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Kent,
Opposed?
before
Yeah.
you do that, you have to speak to items on the agenda. You can't have like an open forum.
Forum.
Okay, can I do this in a chairman's report? I mean, that's why I kind of saved it for this, or do I have to have it as an item every meeting too?
So anyone who's, the way that we do it here at City Hall is
Sure.
anyone who speaks from the public has to speak to an agenda item. So
Okay.
if you give your report and if somebody would like to speak about something that's been stated or on the agenda,
Okay.
then that's fine, but open fora is not really in keeping with open meetings.
Okay, is there a way to reflect better than if there's people in the audience who I haven't met, or it looks like,
Mhm.
you know, just to acknowledge that they're there and to see if they have anything to say?
But they still have to speak to the agenda because of open meetings.
So we can make an agenda item like a
No.
reflection? No?
No.
We can't do that?
You gotta be, yeah,
Okay.
it's gotta be
Too
specific.
open.
Be too
Because
open.
then
So
you're bringing
people-
up items that you don't notice the public about.
Right.
Okay,
You can't
So, I
be
mean, but
open-ended.
if, you certainly can, someone can say, hey, I'm Celestine Jeffries, I'm interested in art,
Okay.
here's my address.
so
you
if
know.
maybe if I mention in the front end, if anybody in the audience would like to speak to an agenda item, you need to raise your hand. That would be a better way to do it.
That would be a better way.
Okay.
And then, afterwards, I think it's certainly really
Mhm.
helpful to have a little conversation
After
after the
we
meeting,
And
off
conclude.
the agenda,
Yeah, okay,
After in the meeting.
okay.
to be
Alright.
convivial and welcome.
That makes sense.
So you can speak to an agenda item while the agenda item is.
Correct.
Yep,
Correct.
yep,
Raise
yep.
your hand.
Gotcha.
Yeah, then
Just
raise your hand, jump up and down, and
Mhm.
Right.
I didn't have anything to say, I was
Oh,
curious.
okay.
yeah.
Sorry to be the open records police, but.
No, that's okay. So then, I'm sorry, but we're going to keep the floor closed for now.
well,
No,
did
yeah,
you want
I
to
mean,
speak on
unless
an
it's
agenda
an
item,
agenda
anything that was
Um,
spoken
yeah.
about?
Particularly on the agenda, just at the end of the last meeting, we discussed some things, and I think I'm going to be discussing with her later.
Yeah.
Okay, well
It's
then,
in-
yeah.
It's in my report, actually.
Okay, great. Then my chairman's report is concluded.
We need to close the floor.
Well, we never
We
voted to
never
open
opened
it.
it.
Yeah.
We never voted to open it, so
Go ahead, Lauren.
Right.
when she gives her report, then is there something you want to speak on?
As far as stuff that's been happening, kind of behind the scenes, but not brought forward just yet. I've been working with Parks Department on just some plans for a creative, artistic park or things that we can do to beautify our parks a little bit more. So these aren't any official plans, so it's basically just notes, but if you guys wanted to check out what I've been working on, just kind of ideas of adding in lighting elements and trail paintings, other things. None of this has been approved, but it's basically just a brain dump for ideas. So if you have ideas of things that you would like to see in parks, let me know, and I can add that to this. Also, I've been working with Will on our poetry sidewalks some more. I reached out to Public Works yesterday, so I'm waiting to hear back on that, but we'll be continuing to plug along on that project. And also, we got an award, so I brought it to you guys.
A major award?
Yeah. And then next week, well, I can't mention it, never mind. It's a secret yet. I'll tell you guys in January.
Sweet.
Nice.
Check it out.
So what do we do with the award? How do we display that?
Oh,
How do we-
there's a holder in my office. It's just in my office.
So it says, Mayor's Beautification Award, Green Bay Public Arts Commission, Works of Art.
Nice.
Thank you. Cool.
How about a chain and just wear it around?
Oh, I
You
think-
can take
Yeah, there we
that.
go.
I'll wear it.
Laura, is this a directive between departments in the city, or is this, collaboration, or is
This is
this
a
fiscal
collaboration.
19 goals? Because again, when I see something like this, it's again, whose department is paying for things?
They have a grant that they can utilize for one of those. I think or they can split it between whatever areas they want.
Okay.
So they had
So they were
requested.
looking for ideas.
They were looking for ideas.
I like
So, I mean, if they wanted to open it up, if they selected, they want to have their trails painted, they could open it up that we could, they could send out a request saying, hey, we're looking for trail painters. If you're in need of funds, maybe you can apply for an annual grant from GBPAC, and then we could decide from there if we want to help fund it, but otherwise, funding for those projects should be coming.
Or I suppose it'd be possible for the parks to have a grant, and then we would run a call for art for the parks, I
Yeah.
guess. So that we would solicit and then vet the artists, and then the parks would supply the funding for their project. I think that could work. Couldn't it? Yeah. Which is
So I-
exactly what we were kind of created to help do.
Yeah.
I don't want to digress, but if we're putting that status of 501c, that opens up more opportunities for other grant asks. Because sometimes they give us
Yeah.
monies for,
Oftentimes you need to be a 501c3. to
Right.
apply for
Definitely,
grants.
yeah.
And sometimes, it depends on who's giving the grant money, right, and to what purpose. So it does open up for not only private fundraising but for other grant opportunities with other private agencies. But just
Yeah.
because the 501c3 doesn't mean that the PAC still can't apply.
Right. Okay. Anything else? Okay, and then the last item is that our Wednesday, December 26th meeting is canceled. We discussed that. So, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn it. What?
I'm sorry, I just need to revert, and I need to reflect that this is Tiffany Bowles' last meeting with us. I'm so sorry I didn't mention it earlier, Tiffany. So, thank you so much for all that you've done for the Green Bay Public Arts Commission and representing yourself and the United Nations and everything. We really appreciated it.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. It's been so fun, and I hope some more of those collaborative projects with you and other artists work in
Yeah.
the future.
Thank you, and always feel free to come back and to keep an eye on us, keep us in check. You're always welcome to come.
All right.
But thank you very much. Thank you. Yep, and good luck.
Thank you.
And, maybe if you have a quick moment, everyone, you can see the new baby
Ah.
who's out with Vaughn in the hallway there. He's been watching, I'm sorry, Asher?
Yes.
Asher, and a new baby boy. So, yeah, and congratulations again on Asher.
Come on.
Ah.
I'd like to make just one request. Can we just have one group shot?
Oh, yeah.
You know, and you holding up the plaque and just some propaganda.
Perfect.
So the light shining this way, so we need to stand looking towards the window.
Should we do this after the meeting?
Now, is the meeting over?
No, we didn't adjourn yet.
Okay.
We're about to.
So thank
Celeste,
you
don't run away. Give us
very much,
picture.
Fisher.
I'm not gonna be in the picture.
Celeste,
No.
Okay,
I gotta go.
motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Very good.
Oh, well, thank you.
Merry Christmas.
all right, Merry Christmas.
See you next year.
Hanukkah.
So we'll just stand right behind you. We'll stand right behind
Don't
you.
forget to sign out. Log out.
And then,
Log out, sign out.